Hi everyone, Christina here. We're going to be making a really fun Halloween garland in this DIY video tutorial. And you can actually download these files right from the OMTech website. They will be available for free. And hopefully you can download them and follow along with this tutorial. So my air compressor is upstairs. In order for me to get it going, gotta pop it up. Then I come over here, you can hear it kind of open up. And it's going to take a few minutes for it to travel downstairs. Starting up the chiller, it's now on. Have my inline fan plugged in. I do have a splitter because I am running a fiber as well. So we got that all going. And here's my wood using 532 maple from Home Depot. It is a bit warped, as we can see here. I have found that sometimes magnets don't do enough to hold the warping down. So I do often use these 3D printed hold down pins from Etsy. As you can see, that is pretty warped. But yeah, these pins work great. It keeps the material nice and flat, so we shouldn't have any issues when we're adjusting our focal height, which we're going to do next. So here we go. It's always a good habit to get into adjusting your focal height, which is what I'm doing right here. We're looking good. Here is the downloadable file. It is nested. I have my settings up here for line and fill. The line is cut, fill is engrave, and if I'm double-clicking in here, these are the settings that I'm running on my 60 watt. So that's for line, and this is for the fill. Now, the fill is only for those small little earrings, but I thought they're cute, and I threw them in. I do disable air assist, but for all my cutting, I do make sure that it is turned on and my PSI is set to 30. So here we go. Everything is together. It is grouped together. I'm going to be coming over here to my live preview mode just to double check and make sure that everything looks okay. So I'm clicking up here, and here we have our estimated time. I found it to be pretty accurate, so this is just giving you an estimate of how long it's going to take to do. And these are those cute little earrings. They're an extra bonus. I think they are so adorable. All right, everything is selected. I'm pretty happy with how this is looking. All right, so now that we have everything over here, I'm going to be framing it, making sure that I'm happy with where it is on my laser bed. And from there, I'm just going to be sending the job to the laser. Just going to click over here and send, name it whatever you want. This is just what I'm doing. And I prefer to send the job to the laser because I have had way too many glitches happen when running it from Lightburn, especially on Mac. So I do highly recommend this. Also, check down here to make sure it actually sent. I go to file. I have a bunch of files on here, as we can see. I'm going to click enter, and I'm going to see that my graphics are right here. And sometimes I just frame it here just to make sure I'm happy with the location. I've had some strange glitches happen where it was in a different area, so I just do this as a precaution. And I'm happy with how that looks, and now I'm going to click start. This is a recorded time lapse. It took about 15 to 20 minutes to fully cut, and here we go. If you have any issues with charring, as we can see just a little bit right here, to clean up that char, I'm using a little bit of rubbing alcohol and a paper towel, and I'm just going to gently go over it and go over all the pieces or the areas that I see the char in, and as we can see, it's pretty dirty. You can also mask if you don't have an upgraded air assist or if you have a different machine, but this is the method that I found works for me, and it saves on minimal time. Now, I have all this empty space over here that I haven't used because this design just didn't take up a full sheet. So what am I going to do? What I usually do is I turn the other graphics into a tool layer, and then I start adding additional graphics just to use up the sheet. So that's just kind of my workflow. If you want to pop them up and they're not coming out, you can use some tape, and it just pops up like this, and then I put it aside. And it works great. I use it all the time. This is a method that I find really helps, and it also helps keeping all those little tiny pieces in place, especially if you have to paint them and whatnot. If you are faced with these little pieces over here that aren't fully popped out, I use these pokey tools that I got right from the Dollar Tree. They come in 2 packs. I will post a link, and it works great. I use these all the time. They're fantastic to get all those little pieces out. Now, as far as painting goes, if you have these tiny little pieces like the noses of the jack-o'-lanterns, I'm just putting them on some tape. And this makes it so much easier when you're going to be spray painting it or painting it however you want to do it. I'm going to be spray painting these, but it works great. Now I'm outside. I got my can right here. I'm going to be spraying in a circular motion just to get all this covered. I also found this nifty little device at Home Depot, I believe it was, and it's great. So I use this. It's almost, it disperses the paint a lot more, I find. And I really like this if I am trying to do like a light coat and I really want it to cover, or if I have something that is engraved and I don't want something to get deep in the crevices. For some reason, using this tool really helps with that. Now that the paint is dry, I'm going to be gluing. This is just some glue from Hobby Lobby that I had on hand. I normally 3M back, but this is a personal project. I kind of want to show some differences on what it looks like when it's glued versus 3M backed. But I'm just gently dabbing it with a paper towel because this glue is going on quick.
Not great.
And once it's glued in place, I got these fun little clamps from, again, the Dollar Tree. And I'm just sticking it on and letting it dry. Now, if you want to get really creative, you can actually put the little pieces inside and paint them. I'm just going for simple this time around, but that is an option for you. And for string, I have a couple of different options. I got this thinner one, and then I have this thicker one. I've noticed with this thicker one, it frays a lot more than the thinner one. So in this case, I'm actually going to be using the thin one to put these all together. This is the layout that I'm going for from left to right. You can do this any way you want. You can change up the colors, get creative, have a fun time with this. Let me just show you what happens with certain thicker twines. As we can see here, it actually gets like bunched up when I'm trying to feed it through. You can make the holes bigger if you want to use a thicker twine, but for this purpose, I find the thinner one is a lot more cleaner and easier to work with, so that's what I'm going to be using in this case. And I'm just pulling it through the back, just like this, and I'm going to be doing this for each one of them. Just to give a visual so we can see it's going in the hole through the back of the design, and that's how each one is. So you don't see the string on the front, it's going through the back. Again, you totally don't need to use the twine if you don't want to. You can use different types of string, ribbon, be creative, make it personalized, and make it you. This is just what I usually do when I do my garlands, so have fun with it. To hang it up, I'm just using some regular tape. And here we go. I just have the tape to the side, and now I'm going to decorate this fireplace. Ended up making some slight adjustments, but check it out. So I ended up bringing the garland a little bit in so it had more of a drastic fall. And I'm really liking how it looks. I have some fun little florals on top, and I'm pretty happy with this. Thanks for watching. Make sure to share your projects in the OhmTech group and on social media, and feel free to tag us and show us your awesome creations.